Good evening, Centurion, and welcome to the very first episode of Talk of the Town. This is a brand new weekly conversation where we unpack what really is happening in our city. Ja, die goeie nuus, die moeilike gesprekke, die stories wat saak maak. Dit is waaroor ons gaan praat elke woensdag aand tussen 6 en 7 namiddag. Every evening from 6 to 7 we'll be sitting down with local leaders, businesses, schools, churches, sport clubs, and everyday residents who are shaping Centurion. If you're watching live, welcome. Jump into the chat and be part of this conversation. And if you're watching the replay, then make sure that you subscribe and join us live for a follow-up next week. So kom ons kom dadelik by die punt uit van vanaand. Ek wil graag vir julle voorstel aan ons paneel. I want to introduce you to, first of all, to my guest co-presenter, who is Marié Joubert. May, welcome here. And she was born and raised in an Indian township, Tshwane, down there in KwaZulu-Natal. And she has now an NPO called Shine Bright Women and Youth, and she mentors youth and assists with parental skills. Welcome once again to join us as our guest presenter. Our other guests. First of all, we have, next to me, we have Matias Beetge. Matias is 'n oud leerling daar van Hoërskool Eldoraigne en ons gaan 'n bietjie hoor wat het hy alles gedoen in sy hoërskoolloopbaan wat hom uitgebring het daarbey om die deputy mayor, onder burgemeester, junior burgemeester van die city of Tshwane te wees. And then we're going to talk to Marié Joubert, who is a departmental head at Eldoraigne. En ons gaan 'n bietjie hoor wat sy gesels oor wat alles die uitdagings is wat vandag se jeug dan nou ook te doen het mee. En dan het ons in studio het ons vir Abel Loedolff, sê ek dit reg? En hy is die stigter van Target Life, waar hy met ons gaan gesels oor die ding wat baie mense oor praat en nie sekerheid het oor het nie, 'n gap jaar vir skoolverlaters. So ons sien baie uit daarna. May, if you can kick off with us and start asking some very interesting and challenging questions to our panel.
Thank you, Arnold. This is a very important topic, for our country. The first question I want to ask is, how relevant is traditional schooling in today's rapidly changing world? Marie?
Okay, I want to say that our traditional schooling, that I think, is still very relevant in a rapidly changing world. If we just look at schools overseas, and I talk to colleagues that has immigrated, and how they are teaching and how it's going in their schools, especially the public schools, not the private schools, it's havoc. And it's very confusing for the children. It's very, now I can't think of the English word. It's dangerous for the teachers as well. And you're not allowed to have your own opinion. You have to voice the opinion of the state all the time, and children are basically forced to think like they are taught, which I think in a school like Eldoraigne, where Matias was as well, we allow for children to discuss topics, to exchange ideas, and when you've got a traditional school, your disciplinary system is so much better. And the children have respect for the teachers. Most of the children have respect for the teachers. And the teachers also have respect for the children, because we treat each other like we want to be treated. If we think about the future, and where they want to use AI all the time, etc., it doesn't improve your people skills. nothing can replace a teacher who has a real relationship with a child, who knows when this child walks into your classroom, he's had a bad day, or this child comes from a background where she faces a lot of challenges. And then a good teacher will reach out to a child like that. Not in front of a classroom, but in a way, and build a relationship with that child. And go to plays that they participate in, or go to sport matches where they compete. And I don't think you find that in schools that's online, or, you know, the futuristic schools that people are speaking about or talking about.
Thank you. That is very encouraging.
Can I add something?
Yes.
I also believe in traditional schools, but AI is a factor. It's going to take away about 40% of all the jobs in the next 2 years. So schools set out to prepare children or students to work, but we will have to start preparing them to create. So there's a big shift, because AI can do what we can do in like split seconds. So you can't throw out the baby with the bathwater, but there has to be an adaptation, and very fast now, because we are not going to keep up with AI. It's a big revolution, and it's going to be faster and more impactful than even the Industrial Revolution. It's coming, and I do believe that everybody's looking into it.
Thank you.
Can I just add something?
Yes,
on what Abel said? We use AI in our preparation, the teachers already. We don't want the children to they use AI, whether we want it or not.
Yes.
And luckily for us in Afrikaans, AI is still very, very confused. So you would get something that you ask them to do, like a literary question of one of the genres of the letterkunde.
If you ask in Afrikaans.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, if you ask it in Afrikaans, the first paragraph will be very good. And once you start reading the second paragraph, you have a very good laugh. So there's a big difference. They're not updated the language of Afrikaans. And in that regard, we're very lucky. And the teachers are sometimes much smarter than what the children think, because once you read an essay and you see, well, everybody's got this or this, then you can look it up on AI and you'll find it. But I want to say one of my teachers today had a paper that I had to moderate. And usually you have a piece for listening comprehension. You have a piece that they have to do and answer questions, and after that it must be like a cartoon, or AI still battles with graphics in Afrikaans. They know what you want to do, but they're battling to put it together. But this teacher took a photograph of this, and it was all written, and she asked AI to translate it in Afrikaans and to make pictures for all the different characters. And AI could do that immediately. And AI only had 2 spelling mistakes. So they're getting there, but we use it, the teachers use it as well, and we're encouraged to use it as well. And we get training in using it as well. But to the benefit of the child, not to the detriment of the child, where the child can't think for itself anymore.
Yes.
Because that's where they're going, because the children has grown lazy to read. We see that with not really Facebook, but we see it with Instagram, etc. They want to look at a picture and like it and finish. And you mustn't have more than 5 sentences, then they get bored. And that impacts on their further studies later on. So we have to bring the children back to loving it to read. And if AI does all of that, we've only created I think, very obedient robots. And we
Yes.
don't want that. I still want children to have their own opinions and to think and express what they think.
Thank you. I think that's a great answer.
If
Yes,
I can
Abel?
maybe, sorry, Abel, no,
I just want to say AI is a given, but we need to understand what AI really is, what it can do and what it can't do. And you can never replace interpersonal relationships. And that's important. So what I'm just saying is the adaptation is to actually teach them, because people assume what AI is and what you can do with it. But I agree with her, there's some basic skills in life that you need to learn first before you can actually engage properly with AI. So it's there, but we will have to teach them really how to use it and how not to use it.
if I can maybe come in here, given what you guys have said now, it seems that one of the biggest challenges for schools nowadays is, amongst other things, AI.
Yes.
But apart from that, what other challenges, wat ander uitdagings is daar wat skole moet trotseer in hierdie day and age waarin ons is?
Can I answer? In our gap year, when they come to the gap year, they share their life histories with the class. So they've just left Matric. So we hear the stories of what happened at schools. And it's horrendous, because I've been in this for 30 years, and every year you can see the deterioration, and you can see, addiction is vicious, from the medication that they're on, because nowadays every second child is on medication, then other substances, pornography, all kinds of things. So they deal with a lot of things which you don't see in the school, because everybody's got kind of a performance mode in which they all look good. But on the other end we see there's lots of things also, that broken homes is a really, really big thing now.
Ja, ek wil aansluit by Abel. Ek het 'n bietjie met 'n klas, met 'n graad 11 klas gesels oor die vraag toe ek dit kry oor wat maak hulle bang. And one of our children, Omi said he is very scared of the future. And I asked why. And he said, because I don't know if my marks are going to be high enough to get to university. If I get accepted, or if my marks are enough, ons praat van 'n TPT-telling, as my TPT-telling reg is, dan is ek een van duisende wat aansoek doen. En daar's net soveel plek in 'n sekere studierigting by die universiteit. Baie van die ander kinders het gesê hulle is bekommerd oor hoe hulle ouers dit kan bekostig. Almal kry nie beurse nie, almal presteer nie fantasties nie. En dit is eintlik jou ouens wat gemiddeld presteer, wat op die ou ene die werksetiek het om na skoolse studie suksesvol af te handel. Want ons het al baie keer gesien dat kinders wat baie intelligent is, en jy lees dit een keer deur en jy het dit, of jy leer auditief en jy luister en jy let goed op in die klas, en dan kry jy onderskeiding. As hulle op universiteit kom en die werk raak ontsettend baie, dan is daai paadjies na jou brein, ons praat van 'n neuroloog het gepraat van daai treinstasies, al daai verbindings is net nie daar nie, dit is nooit gevorm nie. So iemand dis hoekom daar so baie studente is wat baie goed presteer in matriek, en dan na matriek op universiteit val hulle net eenvoudig uit, of hulle besluit dis nie wat hulle wou studeer het nie, of dit is nie wat hulle gedink het nie, en hulle is verlore. En dis hoekom die kinders baie bang is om te kies wat hulle moet studeer ook, want as jy goed is met alles, dan is jou keuse soveel moeiliker, want daar's te veel, daar's soveel moontlikhede, wat kies jy? So dit maak hulle bang. Party kinders het gesê die sekuriteit of die veiligheid in ons land maak hulle bekommerd. En my antwoord daarop was, as ons net kyk na, daar is nie 'n sekuriteitskonsept kwessie iewers in die wêreld nie. Dis nou oral in die wêreld gevaarlik. Jy kan oral ontvoer word, jy kan oral wegraak. My sussie se dogter was nou byvoorbeeld vir 'n jaar in Chicago 'n au pair. En sy het 'n jaar gevat vir die hele voorbereiding van dit. Maar sy het byvoorbeeld gekies en gesê, my suster het gesê, jy kan Chicago toe gaan, hierdie deel. Jy kan hiernatoe gaan. Jy gaan nie Florida toe nie, want dis waar al die tornado's deurkom. Jy gaan nie Los Angeles toe nie, want daar is die aardbewings en dis goddeloos daar. So sy het letterlik die plek amper geselekteer vir haar waar dit veilig is. En een van my kinders bly in Nederland. En is veilig daar. Die kinders speel buite.
Yes.
Maar hoe meer die lande immigrante laat inkom wat nie wil inskakel by die land self se godsdiens en se kultuur en se skole nie en apart wil bly, hoe groter raak die veiligheidsbedreiging. Ek het 'n oud leerling wat byvoorbeeld jare terug het hulle emigreer Nieu-Seeland toe vir veiligheid. En 3 maande nadat hulle daar was, sy was toe nou getroud, het iemand met een van hierdie swaarde, daai machetes, of 'n mes, wat se ding is dit? So ding.
Yes.
In 'n supermark ingestap. En 5 mense doodgemaak en sy was een van die wat byna dood is. Sy het hoeveel operasies gehad. Ek het nou onlangs weer 'n berig van haar gesien wat hulle in Wellington wat hulle berig het oor haar dat sy nou gesond is. Sy moes hoeveel operasies skryf voordat sy byvoorbeeld nou hulle vir 'n gesin kon begin probeer. Maar 'n deel van haar oor is afgesny.
Dit was in Nieu-Seeland.
Dit was in Nieu-Seeland en sy was 3 maande daar. Hulle soen toe vir veiligheid. En toe gebeur dit daar. So toe sê ek vir die kinders, die standpunt is, jy kry nie 'n Suid-Afrikaner onder nie. Maak nie saak waar jy in Suid-Afrika is nie. Ons weet om hier te oorleef. Dit is ons plek. Ons weet. So veiligheid moet nie vir jou 'n ding wees wat jou bang maak nie. Want ek dink ons ten spyte van al die misdaad is daar misdaad in ander lande ook. Ek was in 2007 in Swede met 'n groep van ons kinders.
Yes.
Dit was die veiligste land, een van die veiligste lande in die wêreld. As ons nou gaan kyk na waar hulle lê met hulle immigrante kwessie, het dit ontsettend onveilig daar geraak en het hulle geweldig probleme. Want destyds al het hulle mense laat inkom met politieke asiel.
Yes.
And now they're sitting with a problem that they can't, but they're unsure about their future, whether they're going to get accepted for studying, where are they going to get money, then are they going to get a job? Because you can be qualified as much as you want to.
And the cost of living there
And
is
the
very,
cost of
very high.
living is so high, and many children think that they will start with a high salary, and the realistic thing is you don't. You start down here, and you have to work yourself up. And children these days dream about cars and having a nice life, and they're not prepared by their parents
For reality.
for the reality outside the protectiveness of a school situation and outside your home where your parents raised you.
So I think Abel is doing a great job, in having this gap year where you prepare the children.
Yes.
And then, yes.
If you think about the fear of the future, fear of safety, I think we've got a basic worldview problem because we make choices on grounds of keeping ourselves safe, having enough money and things like that. Well, we're a Christian gap year, so I believe in that we've got a godly calling. So if God
course, your friends. So this pressure with young people is real.
Yes, there's another thing. If you've got baggage from a broken home or you've gone through some kind of trauma in your life, that baggage can also hinder you to really get to whatever you need to get to. A lot of students, they start studying something and halfway in the studies they feel I'm studying the wrong thing. Remember, if I start doubting my own identity, I'm not going to blame myself, I'm going to blame something else. And the first thing that we're going to blame is the thing that we like the least, and that's the studies. So now the studies get the blame. They're actually in the right study direction, but they're just a little bit unsure of themselves. So it makes sense to sort yourself out properly. My own daughter did Target Life, and I asked her the other day, okay, Benita, she's in Webstad. She's a teacher there, but she's got twins now, so she's a stay-at-home mom. She's only 27. And I asked her, your studies at varsity, she studied BCom marketing, and your studies at Aros to be a teacher, versus Target Life. What is the value that they're getting? She said to me, the stuff that I learned at varsity, I barely use. What I learned in teaching, obviously you pick up, you need that, otherwise you can't be a teacher. But she says the value of the things I've learned in Target Life drives my life every day, and the value is immeasurable. So it's not about doing Target Life, or, well, we're not a normal gap year, it's more like a discipleship and personal development year. The main thing is you need to get to know yourself before you make choices.
Yes, that's important, like we were talking about.
Sorry, Mike, can I just want to maybe, to get back to that question that I asked, what is currently the biggest challenge, not necessarily for the learners, but specifically for the school within the education environment?
One of the big, I think, challenges is at this stage is funding from the states, because they're reducing it year by year, and not all parents can pay school fees. So there's more exemptions from school fees. So there's less to do for the children and for the schools. So that is a big problem that we have. We also at this stage have the challenge that when you teach grade 12s, you trust that the parents are parenting, and not that they are their children's best friends. And parents tend to think that the responsibility to parent their children and to teach them manners and to teach them life skills is the job of a teacher. And it is not, because we're with them more. If you look at time-wise,
yes,
we spend more time with them than most of them parents spend with them per day, because they're busy and they're busy with their own lives, and maybe the child doesn't want to speak at home, or there's some or other business going on, like a divorce or a fight or whatever, or the child feels misunderstood in his own home, and then parents don't know how to handle that. And it happens often that in grade 12, where you have to really prepare a child for the NSC exam that has certain requirements. You can't just teach what you like. You have to stick to the syllabus to get this child to get the maximum results that they can. While you do, I'm lucky because I teach a language, so you can reach a child's heart and you can reach a child so much more than someone who teaches maths, for example, because they can't say, oh, Matias, you look so sad today. What's wrong? Afterwards, he has to run to the next class. You're just concerned with his trigonometry or whatever. We're in a very privileged position that we can, with poetry, with all those things, we work with children's emotions, especially with writing skills as well, which is a very, very important skill with public speaking. Where a child is so shy in grade 10, they don't want to speak in front of a class or even in front of you. and where you see a child grow into grade 12 where they can stand and they speak with authority. That's a life skill that we are privileged to teach children. But we have to stick to the syllabus, the other subject, so much that teaching children life skills, that's one of the biggest, I think, criticism that, dis van die grootste kritiek wat skole kry. Is ons leer kinders net en ons leer hulle nie hoe om te leef na skool nie. But what we've experienced at Eldoraigne, for example, is children coming back and saying, you know what, I learned this from you. Or in this situation, you only said this sentence to me that I sometimes can't even remember that I said this. But that in that moment, I believe God knew and the Holy Ghost knew what you had, or the Holy Spirit knew what you had to say to that child.
Yes.
To let him come back or her come back and say, thank you for saying that on that day, because it meant the world to me.
Yes.
Because it changed my perspective. What I would love to see is that we have more a chance to teach children to be accountable for their actions. Because they're not. Dis 'n groot probleem in skole. Ek dink aan alle skole. Is dat kinders doen iets verkeerd en wanneer die ouers gekontak word, sal ouers soms saam met die skool werk, maar baie keer die kind beskerm. Want my arme kind moet net nie aangevat word nie.
My arme kind sal dit nooit doen.
My kind sal dit nooit doen nie. En dan is dit nie so nie.
Yes.
So dan word mens so as ouers ophou, ons praat van, ek weet die laerskole praat van muurtjie mammas en dan praat die hoërskole van helikopterouers wat die hele tyd so sirkel bo kind. En eintlik beskerm mense jou kind so nie, jy lewer jou kind uit want jou kind kry nooit kans om self op te staan en vir hom self te praat nie en self te verantwoordelikheid te neem en te sê ja, ek het dit gedoen, ek het aangejaag en ek wil dit regmaak nie. En wat vir my baie belangrik is in skole is dat mense kinders leer jy's 'n kind, jy kan droog maak. Dit gebeur met almal, ons almal maak droog, ons almal maak foute, ons almal maak verkeerde keuses. Maar dat jy nie sal bly in die verlede nie, dat jy sal leer uit die verlede en dat jy vorentoe sal beweeg en nie weer sal terugkyk nie. En vorentoe beweeg met 'n doel, opkyk. Ons het verlede jaar baie gepraat oor wat was dit nou weer Matias wat julle tema was? Kyk, doen. Wat was dit? Kyk, doen en nog iets. Ja.
You're not
Wat was dit dan?
Ek is klaar met skool.
Dis vir my. Hierdie jaar is eg en oorspronklik en
That's a good one.
ek kan nie onthou wat die ander een is, dis 3. Onthou, dis nou nog net 'n maand, né?
Ja.
Jy het dit die hele jaar gehoor. Maar dat jou voorbeeld moet wees, jy moet 'n voorbeeld stel van dit waarvoor jy staan. En nog 'n groot probleem is selfone in skole. En dat 'n kind dink 'n selfoon is hulle asemhalingsapparaat. So as jy nie selfoon kan sien nie, het jy asem nodig, dan word jy blou in jou gesig. Cellphones is a big problem. It is a big
I see
problem.
in some countries they
are banning it in schools. Yeah.
which is amazing.
And some schools are banning it as well. But you can also use cell phones in a class situation to teach children and to look up stuff and to in a controlled
Research.
environment. So I'm not completely against the use of a phone during a lesson or whatever. And to say to them, Google this quickly, this is a link. Do you see how this is the ringtone of Eckhart's phone in the novel that they do, Onderwereld. And it's called Connected. So let's listen to the song and let's look at the words. And then you understand the mind of a hacker, because that's who Eckhart is in the end. So if you use technology and the children have their phones and then they put it away again, but some don't. And then it gets taken away for a day. So it must be You can't have a teacher who's not experienced do that.
Yes.
Because you won't be able to control it.
So what I'm hearing is parenting skills are vital. Nobody teaches us to be parents, and no institute teaches parenting skills. Okay.
We
do you
do
have,
teach it to
yes, I just
students.
wanted to ask Abel, because you've got a fantastic gap here, which is addressing
Yeah, we've
all
got the
challenges.
opportunity, so we do teach the youngsters that are there how to be a parent, because they're going to be parents within the next decade. But I want to say something positive about schools. We can sit here and talk about everything that's wrong for a long time, but I just want to honor the teachers.
Yes.
Some teachers teach math, but some teachers teach students math, and those teachers are making a real difference. I would just like to encourage them. They're doing a fantastic job. Like she said, without them, those kids would be nowhere.
Oh, yes.
Because there is a problem with the parents. But I would just want to encourage teachers. You're doing such a great job. Just keep going.
Thank you, Abel.
Thank you.
And I want to say, not all parents
Yes.
are
yes.
helicopter parents.
Yes.
I'm not.
You see? So that's right.
I want to ask Matias, being a youngster, right? Does the school adequately prepare learners for life work and purpose in the modern world?
I think I'm going to talk in Afrikaans. So, soos juffrou gesê het, daar's min tyd vir om lewens of life skills te teach. En daar's veral in matriek voel ek is daar's baie verwagting akademies, daar's baie akademiese druk. Op kinders moet 'n sekere hoeveelheid werk geleer hê, kinders moet 'n sekere hoeveelheid werk ken voor hulle kan eksamen skryf en hulle senior sertifikaat kry. So, soos jy wil sê met vakke soos tale soos Afrikaans en Engels en so en waar ons gedigte doen en dan 'n bietjie meer van 'n verhouding geskep word. Ek dink daar leer kinders en selfs in sosiale groepe soos pauses wat ook.
Ja.
Wanneer kinders met mekaar interact, dan is daar social skills en life skills wat definitief geleer word, maar meeste van dit is maar akademies en jy moet maar iewers anders leer by jou ouers as jy gelukkig is dat jou ouers jou life skills leer. So
Or the religious institutes?
ja, of communities soos Target Life of so aan. Ja. So
Thank you.
I just want to maybe come in and ask. I mean, yeah, you were in Matric last year, correct? Yeah. So and beyond the classroom, you served as a junior deputy mayor of Tshwane,
yes.
and you were the deputy head of culture in your school. You received multiple accolades for acting, and you were crowned Mr. Eldoraigne. How did you balance all of this in your matric year between the academic, the leadership roles, and all the other cultural activities?
I think most children think that balance is something more om alles perfect te doen. Om alles wat jy aan deelneem perfect te doen en nie foute te maak. Maar ek het vinnig geleer om balance te hê beteken om meer te prioritize. So jy kyk en wat se seisoen is belangrik vir daai seisoen. Want daar is party seisoene waar jy meer moet fokus op akademie of meer fokus op deelname aan kultuur of in die toneelseisoen, dan is dit belangrik om aandag te gee aan toneeloefeninge en so aan. So ek dink om vooruit te beplan is iets wat ek my baie gehelp het om 'n balans te hê. Vooruit te beplan en te prioritiseer waarna jy die meeste aandag spandeer. En om foute te maak is alright en jy hoef nie alles perfek te doen op een slag nie. So ek dink dit is hoe ek dit gedoen het.
Ek wil sê so back and jam kry.
Smart, very smart.
Met dit in gedagte, hoe sou jy sukses vir 'n jong mens of 'n skoolgaande kind op hierdie stadium definieer?
Ek sou sê, maar ek kan nie vir almal praat nie. Want almal het maar 'n eie prentjie van wat sukses is. Maar ek sou sê vir 'n skoolkind en vir 'n jong mens is dit belangrik dat ons het nie nou sukses is nie nou vir ons op ons lewenspaadjie status of finansiële freedom of wat ook al nie. Omdat ons nog aan die begin is van ons lewenspad, sou ek sê is dit baie sukses in 'n skoolomgewing is om, soos hulle ook gesê het, is om te leer wie jy is as mens. om mensdom om jou mensdom te ken en die verantwoordelikheid te vat vir jou keuses en ja, die resultate van jou keuses en also om te groei as 'n mens. So ek sê is sukses vir 'n skoolkind.
Okay, wonderlik. I think I'm just looking at the time, and I don't want us to run out of time before we've talked about life after school and the bridge that the transition that a learner needs to make going into the adult world. So yeah, and that's where I'm very excited to hear the whole story about the target life gap year. What is a gap year for the people out there that don't know?
Gap year can mean many things. We'd actually like to get away from the term. It's really true because there's a hectic gap between school and whatever else you're going to do. But we are more a potential development year. We are discipleship year. We help them develop a proper worldview. There's lots of things in there that is actually preparing them for life. Not so much just for working, but for life. And with a main focus on finding your true identity, finding your purpose. Leadership is also connected to your identity. You can't understand leadership if you don't know what your calling is. And then obviously worldview is very important because we are caught up in certain ways of thinking. And that makes us having blind spots. But if we can open up to become more creative, then there's more possibilities. So everybody rely on what they currently know, the degrees and all that. So we want to broaden that so that people will find who they really are, what is their gifts. So in our career guidance, what we really do is we let them write a mission statement to say, these are the 3-4 themes of my life. I need to do these things to be a fulfilled person. And then for the first time start thinking, what am I going to do? Because we're human beings, not human doings. So when that identity is established, then you can start opening up the door to say, how do we develop you to be creative in a world that's changing very fast? And what principles are going to keep you stable during this journey that you're on? And so on. So I would like to talk for a long time, but on our website there's a 17-minute explanation that actually gives the whole curriculum. I'm not going to repeat that. By the way, I just want to mention Target Life started, but it's still open to applications if somebody's interested.
Anything you want to ask May about the Target Life?
I did read your website last night, and I was very, very impressed. It's very holistic, and then it's not time-consuming as well. You know, being young people, they want their freedom. But what I like about it is, and what you did say now is, unlike in the home situation where they're not free, you know, to express themselves or ask a question, I think they will be very open in that environment to question and to ask about things they were always thinking about.
Yes, you know, I teach them, I say, when I start teaching, don't believe anything I say. You need to test it.
Yes.
And it's time for you to make up your own mind. So what's different from school or varsity where you have to write a test? So you get the information, you retain the information, you put it on the exam paper, and after a while you can't even remember what it's all about. Now they sit in class, they hear something incredibly impactful, and by the way, people don't change because of information, they change because of processes. And the more intense the process, the more they change. So they get this information and they challenged on the inside. Because actually the thing that determines where you end up in your life is your motives in your heart, not what's in your brain. And because they challenged, they know that nobody's going to test this, but I know life is going to test this. So that makes them start taking responsibility. And then we've got this survivor camp where, just in short, the immunity challenges, when one tribe beats another tribe in an immunity challenge, they can take somebody. So it's in the middle of the winter, they're hungry, they're cold, they're everything, but they learn to fight not against, but for a friend. And they learn that I can actually suffer to keep a friend. And that changes the whole mindset. Oh, life is all about me, to actually giving is more fulfilling than receiving, and the whole worldview is changed in the year because
Yes.
our worldview is based on social media and everything out there, and it's becoming
What
a
you can
disaster.
acquire for yourself.
So we are very set on teaching them what is the proper biblical worldview, but also give it to them very practical. So it's not hanging there. I've got an engineering degree, so I think mechanical, solving problem from first principles up. Like if somebody is rejected, they might be stuck in something like pornography. Pornography is just the fruit. We need to get to the root of things, deal with it from there, and then our lives change, because we don't live by what we know. We live by what we actually believe deep down in our subconscious. And we need to reprogram somebody's subconscious if you want them to live differently. Everybody's trying from the outside to
Yes.
bring change to poor people. You have to change the worldview, otherwise nothing's going to change.
Absolutely.
Hy lyk of hy saamstem, die jong man.
But
Ek hou oortuig om te kom.
what's your opinion of that?
Ag nee.
Well, what do you...
Ja,
Hy moet sy kaartjie uitstel met 2 weke.
ja, ek wil graag hoor wat jy sê, ja.
Ek sal sê ek stem definitief saam. Dis nou wat ek gesê het oor die skool wat ons kan rush is om akademiese inligting in te kry en in te neem en dan om te skryf daaroor. Waar jy meer, ek wil nie sê jy tyd vat nie, maar meer dieper kyk na inligting wat ingeneem word om te leer.
Ek wil net vinnig sê, ek was 'n onderwyser en my frustrasie om nie by die kinders uit te kom nie, het hierdie kursus tot stand gebring. So ons verstaan mekaar, ja.
Dis baie nice.
En by the way, ek is baie lief vir jong mense. Jy sal sien die groot mense maak nie regtig vir myself nie.
I agree with you.
Thank you.
It brings me to the next question to say, why, or first maybe, it's a two-part question. Die rede hoekom jy met Target Life begin het, was dit as gevolg van iets wat jy in jou lewe persoonlik ervaar het, of was dit iets wat jy raak gesien het? En dan tweede vraag is dit nodig om te wag tot iemand by matriek klaar is om die inligting wat hulle in 'n gap jaar leer met hulle te deel? Is dit nie dalk nodig om dit vroeër al te weet?
Om dit soos in die skoolstelsel in te werk.
Ja, ons werk daaraan om iets te kan bydra tot skole, maar soos jy self weet, die program is baie vol. Die arme onderwysers oorleef skaars, die kinders, die stelsel is wat hy is. Ons probeer, ons kry al hoe meer kinders wat, hulle maak nie eens klaar met skool nie, en kom doen hulle eers hierdie jaar om hulle self te vind, want hulle pad is besig om helemaal 'n mislukking uit te draai. Wat my hierby gebring het is, ek het 'n baie moeilike kindertyd gehad, en ek het vir die Here daar gesê, lank terug, ek soek my kindertyd terug, ten minste 1000 maal in terme daarvan om ander jong mense te kan help. En daar's al meer as 1000 kinders deur hierdie proses. So daai ding is beantwoord. Ek het ingenieurswese geswat, halfpad deur dit uitgevind, dis nie wat ek wil doen nie. En toe moes ek stil sit en besluit wat is daar vir my. Nou ek weet die ingenieurswese was reg vir my om te studeer vir dit wat ek ontwikkel het. Maar toe besef ek daar's baie mense, hulle gaan maar net aan. Ek kon 'n beurs kry, my wiskunde was alright. So dit het my gedryf om dit te doen, en ek het besef as 'n onderwyser dat die helfte van hierdie kinders verlaat die skool, maar hulle het absoluut geen idee waartoe om te gaan nie. En dis maar al hierdie goeters wat aanleiding daartoe gegee het. Ek het met die leerlingraad gewerk, hulle persoonsontwikkeling en sulke tipe goed. Die bedryfskundige kant het bygekom, en dan ek het 'n groot passie om mense van die Here te vertel, op 'n baie praktiese manier, en op die manier het alles bymekaar gekom.
He's very much in touch with the young people.
Yeah, he likes the young.
Yeah, no, yeah.
Ek wil dan net verder vra, hoe kan jong mense van skole met wat, veral die wat min hulpbronne het, hulle eie geleenthede skep as hulle omgewing dit nie vir hulle bied noodwendig nie?
Ek het 'n bietjie oor daai vraagie gedink, en daar's nie 'n maklike antwoord nie. Kom ek gebruik my eie kind. Ek het 'n laaitie huis nou in graad 11. Hy is nie baie gelukkig oor die onderwysers wat hy nou, die hele pakket is net nie vir my lekker nie. Toe sê ek vir hom, what are you going to do about it? Because I had to go to the army for 2 years. It was 2 years of my life, but I had to make a choice to make it work for myself. And after a while he came back to me and he said, Dad, you've got such many stories from school, because we grew up in the good old times like Trompie, you know.
Ja.
En And he said, he told his friends, we must start making memories. And the things that they are doing, and now they want to start a business because they want to restore a sports car and stuff like that. The creativity is flowing. So what you need to stimulate them that the solution is not outside of yourself. You can't sit and wait that something's going to happen. You will have to take with what you have and make it happen. And also, obviously, if somebody has faith, that helps them also, because faith is the opposite of fear. Fear immobilizes us. So we actually need to go with a message to them that is not schooling, but speak into their lives. And the other thing is, if you want to develop somebody's potential, you need to see what's inside of them.
Yes.
So you need to be close to them. And once you see it, especially if you can see it through God's eyes, when you say that to them and they believe it, they start going and there's action. So this country, and especially people with lots of money, should start investing and creating an opportunity to influence their worldview, because they have more potential than they believe. And if they don't know that, it's not going to make a change. We can bring in more money, more life skills, more everything, but as long as they don't believe in themselves, they're not going to go anywhere.
So. Kan ek iets byvoeg? Ek stem absoluut saam. Ons het net gepraat oor kinders en oor entitlement.
Yes.
Jy dink jy verdien dit. Jy verdien iets omdat jy uit 'n sekere huis uitkom, of jy verdien iets omdat jy nie uit 'n sekere huis uitkom nie. En ek dink dis wat ons jeug baie terughou, is jy moet in jouself gaan grawe vir jou potensiaal. Niemand anders kan dit doen nie. Dis soos al sê hulle, iemand kan dit vir jou aansteek, 'n klein vlammetjie, of dit vir jou laat oopbars soos met hulle kursus, of jy, maar dit lê in jou hande, want jy kan die beste geleenthede kry. Maak nie saak wat jou omstandighede was en jy kan 'n gemors daarvan maak. Jy moet wil, en jy is verantwoordelik vir jou lewe. Saam met begeleiding van jou godsdienst, dis wie saak maak in jou lewe. En die wêreld draai nie, soos jy het reg gesê hoeveel keer, die lewe draai nie om jou nie, die wêreldbeskouing van kinders moet verander. Jy kan ontsettend suksesvol wees en jy hoef nooit universiteit toe te gaan nie. As jy entrepreneur kan word en jy het 'n visie van dit is my passie, dis wat ek wil doen. Ek het vir kinders skool gehou verlede jaar. Hulle is nou ongelukkig nie hierdie jaar weer by my nie en hulle is vies daaroor, maar in alle geval wat die een seun saam met sy pa naweke werk en hulle doen konstruksiewerk en hy kan al vreeslike elektriese goed doen.
En kan ek net sê, AI kan nie konstruksiewerk doen.
Dis goed om te hoor. Maar hy gaan byvoorbeeld na skool, hy sê vir my, juffrou, ek kan nie wag nie, ek gaan na skool en hy werk vakansies. Hy's moeg na vakansie, dan sê hy vir my, JP, hy's moeg. Want hy het die hele vakansie gewerk, maar hy het so baie geleer. En dis wat hy in sy besigheid gaan doen. En hy bou nou al sy klandisie op. So, en die kinders wat byvoorbeeld 'n ou kar restoreer, daai tipe goed, dis 'n ding wat 'n passie wat in jou is en 'n talent wat jy het wat jy nie van geweet het nie. Wat dit ontsluit en jy neem verantwoordelikheid vir jou eie lewe, want jy kan dit ook nie vir die deur van jou ouers lê nie, maak nie saak wat jou omstandighede is nie. Dit lê binne jouself.
Ek dink die volgende vraag wat ek wil vra is, ek wil nie weggaan sonder om dit te weet nie, want weet in die tyd dat ons groot geword het, was daar nie sulke goed soos junior stadsrade gewees en sulke goed. So ek wil net graag weet, hoe is dit, hoe werk dit? Is dit, word die junior stadsraad werklik die geleentheid gegee om impakvolle besluite te neem, verskille te maak of whatever, of is dit net 'n tipe van 'n dress rehearsal tipe oefening?
So daar's eintlik, dis net kinders. Daar's geen groot mense betrokke nie, wat ek dink 'n lekker ding is, want dit maak dat die kinders saam moet werk oor kreatiewe oplossings en wat ook al. So daar word 'n geleentheid vir ons gegee om actually verskil te maak. Ons kan besluit. Dis eintlik maar soos 'n groot fondsinsameling projekte wat ons hou deur die jaar wat ook al. So ons kan besluit wat se events ons wil. Ons kan besluit vir wie ons hier wens word. Ons kan besluit aan wie ons 'n verskil wil maak sonder groot mense van 'n buite uitkyk af wat vir ons sê hoorie julle moet vir daai mense kos insamel, julle moet vir daai mense geld insamel. So ons kan van 'n jeugperspektief af kan ons besluit van ons soos uitkyk af wie sal ons sê het die hulp nodig wat ons aanbied. So daar's baie geleentheid wat geskep word, ja.
May, what is your take on the involving the youth in that capacity of having like a junior mayor in a whole mayoral committee, or the whole concept of that?
I think that's a wonderful idea because, as I was saying, 70% of our population is youth, right? And youth are very intelligent. They have no boundaries. They're fearless. They can challenge. So we need that mindset around us instead of, I'm stuck in the old and I will bring that in, and it doesn't serve most of our community. So it should be compulsory that our youth be involved in every aspect or department in our governments. It should be compulsory. So having a junior deputy mayor is amazing, absolutely amazing. Because in that community, there's 60% youth. So who are you talking to? They want to see somebody who understands them, who gets them, who can hear them and hear their challenges, right? So I think that's absolutely important that we have representatives as youth representatives, and if they go through something like a gap year, like Abel is gone, we'll turn out the most amazing, fantastic youth. And because, as I said, the majority is youth. If they all get together and decide to do something, we're done. They are majority, right? So I think they should get involved more and to make decisions for the future that they want to see in this country. Yes.
Ek wil net ook iets by sê, soos wat sy gesê het, is soos die Junior Stadsraad is 'n platform wat laat die jeug bymekaar staan. Ons moet saamwerk om 'n sekere bedrag geld om te samel vir wat ook. So ek dink dis 'n fantastiese soos idee om dat die jeug saam begin werk.
Yes.
Want daar's baie dinge wat ons kan regkry as ons saam staan en eintlik besef dat ons veg vir dieselfde ding en vir dieselfde doel. So ja, ek dink ook, dankie vir daai.
Thank you, yes.
Abel, ek wil gou by jou net hoor, ek sit probeer myself in die skoene van 'n ouer sit of van 'n leerder sit. Kry julle byvoorbeeld van die jong mense wat dit die ouers se idee is om die gap year te doen in plaas van dat dit die kind is wat dit actually wil doen?
Dit raak toenemend, so aanvanklik was dit meer die kinders wat dit wou doen. Die ouers sê dis geldmors. Nou het dit begin omkeer want die ouers is baie desperaat. Maar ons het dalk ook 'n fout gemaak in ons bemarking voorheen om dit te aanloklik vir die studente laat lyk. Eintlik is die ouer ons kliënt. Hulle gaan betaal en hulle het actually nodig dat hierdie kinders kan verander want hulle kan sien hulle kind in 'n nood en wat kan aangedoen word aan ons kant weer. As 'n ouetjie daar kom en hy is nou sy ma se pa het hom hier ingepraat, moet ons hom vinnig aan boord kry en ons weet hoe om dit te doen. En ons het nou net ons Kickstart kamp gehad en net in 3-4 dae sê baie van die ouers ons kan nie die transformasie in 4 dae se tyd glo nie en jy het nog skaars begin hê. So ja, ons kliënt word hy uiteindelik die ouer en in die vervolg wil ek eintlik vir hulle sê die waarde van die kursus kan jy absoluut nie in geld uitdruk nie, is absoluut onmoontlik.
Mag ek iets heeltemal buite orde sê? Waar my gedagtes nou is sal dit nie wonderlik wees as 'n skool besluit in plaas van, want daar is nie 'n matriekkamp nie, aan die begin van voordat die skool begin die jaar, 2 weke voordat die skool begin, doen hulle julle kamp.
Ons kan dit fasiliteer vir julle.
Want weet jy hoe anders gaan 'n kind se matriekbelewenis wees? Hoe gaan dit die vrees wegvat?
Absoluut.
Hoe gaan dit 'n kind voorberei en hoe maklik gaan dit wees? Want wat jy sê van ouers wat sê hulle is raad op met hulle kinders. Die kinders, dis regtig waar op 'n stadium wat 'n kind net nie hulle sit by die hoof of by die akademiese hoof of by die graadhoof en ouers sê my hande is in my hare. Ek weet nie meer wat om met my kind te doen nie. My kind luister eenvoudig nie. My kind wil nie leer nie. Ek laat my kind sit om te leer of ek dwing my kind om skool toe te kom, dan my kind het net nie 'n saak nie. Hulle het alle beheer oor hulle kinders verloor. En met so 'n program aan die begin van 'n matriekjaar of sê net maar aan die einde van jou in plaas van om met vakansie te gaan saam met jou ouers aan die einde van graad 11, gaan jy op Abel hulle se kursus vir daai 2 weke en jy kom terug as 'n matrikulant wat 'n plesier vir homself is, wat uitgesorteer is, wat gelukkig en tevrede in die skool is, wat werklik 'n bydrae lewer, wat 'n voorbeeld vir die hele skool is wat mens graag wil hê en wat regtig 'n nalatenskap los vir die jonger grade om na te streef en te sê, "Joh, ek wil soos hierdie groep wees."
Yes.
En jy het ouers wat in minder in klinieke beland en minder pille drink en minder huil in die aande en deurslaap want hulle weet waarheen hulle kinders op pad is en hulle weet hulle kinders ken hulle heiland en hulle weet wat vir hulle voorlê in die toekoms.
But I want to ask Marie, do they do an aptitude test before they choose their subjects to guide them to say this is your strengths?
Yes, they do. They do that in grade 9.
But can I say something?
But they change so
Yes.
much.
Yeah.
From grade 9, it's incredible.
The subject that you choose in grade 9 is not what you want to do in grade 12
Yeah.
anymore, but you already chose that subject.
And then you can't change it. The
Yes.
education department
Yeah.
now says no changes anymore.
The problem with career guidance, everybody is on the personality type and the
Yeah.
adaptation. But these kids can do anything. So the choices are too many.
Yes.
You need to bring them back to understand their own passion. And that's not so easy.
Then there's a lot of peer pressure, as I said.
Yeah.
They forget about that,
Yeah, but
and the guidance counselor does not.
now you must find that thing inside
Do
that
not.
says,
No.
I'll die for this. Once you've got that thing, then you've got to drive in life.
Yeah.
Front back.
The bottom line is we have to invest in our youth, and everybody's responsible. Abel,
Yes.
we,
Everybody.
our parents, teachers, that they are our kids, and we all have to do our part.
And we have to work together also.
Yes.
Yeah.
I want to thank all of our panelists for tonight. May also for you for being our guest presenter and giving your input on all of this. And baie dankie vir julle. Ek hoop ons kykers het ek hoop nie, ek weet hulle het baie geleer vanaand en baie inspirasie gekry uit vanaand uit. En dis die doel van hierdie hele program wat ons probeer doen is om mense in te lig, op te voed en te inspireer. En ons het nou nie laat elkeen van julle 'n toertjie doen nie want ons probeer al hierdie dinge op 'n entertaining manier ook doen, maar ek dink daar was genoeg entertainment tussen
Ja.
almal van ons hier
Ja.
gewees. En baie dankie vir die werk wat julle ook doen, Abel.
Dankie.
En vir die onderwysers gaan ek 'n tweede keer bedank. Ek het self kinders wat onderwysers is. Ek ken die struggles van onderwys. En en wat 'n voorreg om so 'n wonderlike jong man met so 'n wonderlike gees te kan ontmoet. En baie dankie dat jy ingestem het om ook dit wat jy deurgegaan het en baie te deel en baie sterkte vorentoe vir jou ook. Ek weet nie of elkeen van julle dalk anybody just want to give a one or two liner just to greet.
Yes, what I just want to also, we must not forget about the children who are the majority in the country that are disadvantaged. They do not have good facilities in our class, in the class or in the community. And I think next time we're going to discuss that, how we can help those kids. And Abel, you gave us so much of, I love the one where your son says, we have to create our own memories. That is, it's precious. And you gave us a lot of insight. Thank you so much. I can see, Marie, that you are a very caring, dedicated teacher.
It's my passion. Dis my roeping. It's not a job, it's a roeping.
That's beautiful.
It's a calling for me.
Yeah, no, that's beautiful.
It's always been.
And the young man, the ex-deputy mayor, such a pleasure talking to you, such wisdom, such, you know, I can see you're going to contribute a lot to South Africa and come back. Please come back.
Yeah, I will come back.
En doen Abel se kursus.
All right. Thank you very much. Yeah.
Last thing that I want to say is think about this. Sometimes people say we can't afford to do this. Maybe you cannot afford not to do it. And what I also want to say is invest 1 year and benefit for eternity, meaning really eternity. Just think about it. Thanks. Thanks for the opportunity.
Ja. Ek wil ook net sê moenie hoop verloor nie. Dis die groot ding. Is ons mense verloor hoop. Don't lose hope. Have faith en beweeg vorentoe. Al is dit treetjie vir treetjie. Daai berg jy bereik nie in die eerste jaar die toppunt van die berg, die summit nie. Die lewe is 'n reis. En elke ervaring wat jy leer is kosbaar en maak van jou 'n beter mens. So moet nooit hoop verloor nie. Never lose hope.
You know, that is very powerful, Marie, because as I say, I see passion in you, and it's teachers like you that affects a lot of, I know kids in school who said that, listen, I know exactly what I want to become, my teacher, and I don't even need to go to university, who became powerful entrepreneurs. They're all over the world. And it's all because of teachers like you. Thank you so much.
To our viewers, thank you for joining us. And yes, I want to reiterate what Abel said. I always say also that, you know, the question is not, can we afford to invest in our youth? Can we as a nation afford not to do it? We hope to see you next Wednesday evening. Watch our social media pages where we will inform you what the topics are going to be, who the guests are going to be, and spread the word out there that this community channel is there to inform the community, to educate the community, to inspire the community, and to try and do all of that in an entertaining way. And comment with suggestions for topics that we can discuss on the program, things that you would want to see done differently. Our motto is to make differences differently in the community, and we hope to achieve that. And if we're struggling with that, let us know about that as well. Thank you so much, and have a blessed evening. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Dit was so cool. Mense het